Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Loeb's Look Ahead. My name is Max Loeb, aka Loeb's Leads, your host. We're up in the production value for you, looking ahead to Wednesday, February 26th. If you've never been here before, welcome. I make these videos every single night, Monday through Friday, looking ahead to the next day, breaking down the slate of games for the next day, while also talking about the current happenings of whatever day this video comes out on. 6 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. These videos will be live for you to either look ahead or get caught up on everything that is happening or has already happened in the sports world. Today, we have a great episode talking about everything we got going on Tuesday night, everything that happened pre-NFL Combine, because there was some pretty crazy stuff today, as well as looking ahead to the NBA slate, the college basketball slate on Wednesday, and talking a little bit about our play of the day, what we like and what we don't like on Wednesday. Before we get into it, make sure you guys are locked in on all of the socials. That's where all the picks will be. They go out early on there, especially on Pickett. I'll show you what that is in a little bit. If you aren't on Pickett, every pick I make, boom, refresh the app. Therefore, you don't have to wait at 6 p.m. Eastern for these every single day to come out to find what I'm riding. We're just going to recap it every night. Without further ado, let's move to the NBA slate on Tuesday night, everything we are riding tonight. Now, it's a good slate. We talked about it in the breakdown yesterday. Like a couple things, we got a Luka revenge game. I'm going to pull everything up for you guys right now. So, again, this is all on Pickett right now. If you are not already locked in on Pickett, I highly suggest you get on it. That's how you can see my picks every single day as they come out. Now, the Lakers, 10 p.m. Eastern, Dallas Mavericks, Luka revenge game. We have the Lakers money line and Luka over 43.5, PRA. Everybody's on the Luka revenge game. I kind of hate to ride what everybody's on, but the reality is I really like it. I really want to ride it. Cavs Magic at 7:30 p.m. Eastern in the breakdown yesterday. We looked at it. Magic are noticeably better against guards. So if you're taking alternate lines, you want to lean into the big men. That's Evan Mobley. That's Jared Allen. Two different alternate points and rebounds combinations, as well as the Cavs just to win the game outright. Celtics Raptors, again, in the breakdown yesterday, we talked about it. Peyton Pritchard's been the main guy against Toronto both times they've played this year. 2 threes from him, 2 threes from Derek White, and the Celtics to win. And then college basketball Tuesday night, we got Florida Duke, minus 13.5, so an alternate spread for Duke. We'll look at that, minus 400 for that, as well as Tennessee money line. That is everything that we are on for the NBA and college basketball slate. On Tuesday night, let's talk NFL Combine, guys, because there was so much that went on today in the Combine. We'll start with my trusty, I don't even know if I want, my Giants. We'll start with my Giants. Every day, it becomes more and more apparent they're going to at least try to take a swing at Matt Stafford. We already know they're interested. Watching Joe Schoen's press conference, bright and early at 10 a.m. Eastern this morning, we listened to him say a couple crucial things. Number one, the Giants are willing to take big swings at the quarterback position, whether that's drafting somebody, whether that's trading for somebody, signing a free agent. They need to take big swings, and they're prepared to do it. The second thing, Joe Schoen made it very evident that there's a world where Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward are both off the board when they're picking at 3. If that happens, they obviously have to explore other quarterback options. The third thing, and this goes into number 2, he said it makes sense to have a veteran in the room, whether they're going to draft somebody at 3 or not. It makes sense to have a veteran in the room, whether that's Matthew Stafford or a guy like Kirk Cousins if he gets released. We'll talk about Kirk in a second here. Crazy stuff with him too. It makes sense to have a veteran in the room regardless of what it looks like. Joe Schoen is very, very well aware of that. He understands that that is happening, and he fully understands that there's a world where the Giants may not get a quarterback at 3. And if that happens where it's Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders 1 and 2 or vice versa, you probably take a DB. You're not going to go draft the Jackson Dart. However, he also made it apparent he'd be open to trading down. Everything points to the mindset of Joe Schoen. I need to win now. I need to have a veteran in the room. And there's a world where the top 2 rookie quarterbacks may not even be there for us at 3. They're going to take a swing. Also, a report that came out maybe an hour before I started recording. Aaron Rodgers reportedly wants to go play for the Rams with Sean McVay. And I get that. Who doesn't want to play? That would lead him to LA if that happened with Devontae Adams as a supplemental piece to that, because I think Adams is going to get cut. Nothing official yet. That's going to displace Matthew Stafford. And if that happens and the Rams want to go that route, they obviously have to trade him. Giants are already interested. We know this. They're going to take a swing. Take swings. That's the motto here. Take swings. On the other end, you can see behind me the Cleveland Brown stuff, the team I cover. Oh, man. Most important thing, Chubb is going to test the market. And Andrew Berry said that. I think it's more likely he leaves than not. if Andrew Berry is very open to him testing the market, but I don't think his heart is there. I don't think he wants to leave. However, if the Browns aren't willing to pay him, he's going to leave. That's the reality of it. And I think there's a world that, the Browns won't pay him. I think there's a world that Andrew Berry knows it's probably best to lean into a guy like Jerome Ford and draft somebody in the first 4 rounds of this draft. This is a moderately deep running back draft. I think there's a world where Chubb doesn't come back. Also talking about the top prospects the Browns are looking at, Travis Hunter today was referred to by Andrew Berry as a wide receiver and a unicorn because he can also play DB. This is not a DB that also plays receiver to Andrew Berry. This is a receiver who also plays DB. Whatever you think of that, you can have your own opinion. Regardless, Andrew Berry is looking through his laser eyes right now. Andrew Berry's looking through his laser eyes and saying, this is a receiver. He can play corner for us, but this is a receiver. You tell me, what do you think is a bigger need for the Browns, receiver or corner? I'd probably say receiver, right? So maybe you lean into that a little bit, that thought process if you're a Browns fan or you want the Browns to not draft Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward. Another mock draft came out today saying that the Cleveland Browns will be taking Cam Ward. I believe it was Mel Kiper's, if I'm not mistaken, where it's Abdul Carter at 1, Cam Ward at 2, and then Shedeur Sanders falls to Jets at 7. Regardless, I don't think that happens. But the Browns are in a spot where they're now viewing Travis Hunter as a wide receiver, which I think is a bigger position of need for that team than a corner. And, if he views him as a unicorn who can do both, it doesn't really matter. And this is just me talking to lean into that a little bit. But that's what Andrew Berry thinks. As for JOK, there's been no additional updates on his status. As for Myles Garrett, they have very, very outspokenly said, we are not trading this guy. They said it again today. We are not getting rid of this guy. I think this could get ugly really fast, but they did say that today. Very important to know. That's everything you need to know about the Browns. Atlanta Falcons, I talked about Kirk Cousins very briefly earlier. They're basically holding him hostage. That's what it seems like. They are continually saying, like, there's a world where Kirk is on our roster next year. He doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to be a backup. He just got benched. But they're saying there's a world where Kirk is on our roster next year. Look, hey, I don't think Kirk Cousins is going to be a serviceable quarterback next season. I don't. But the Atlanta Falcons want him on their roster as a backup. You already paid the guy. You don't want to lose that money in dead cap and have a decent backup who's won, what do you win, 6 games, 7 games for you? I don't know. It makes sense, but Kirk doesn't want to be there, and I think they figure out a way to get him out. But we wait to see. Raiders, Titans, new front offices. We're talking a little bit today. Both teams seem very, very open to trading up, trading down. Not Titans trading up, but trading up or trading down from their current pick. The Titans don't really want to move past 4, which is interesting. Titans don't really want to move past 4 if they're trading down. But the Raiders are very much in the weeds with this thing. I think the analogy used where they're still drinking water through the fire hose right now. They're just getting in, just figuring things out. They were late on the coaching and GM cycle too. So they're still figuring things out. In terms of the top of the draft order, that's pretty much it, though. Mike Vrabel said he was never offered a full-time job from the Cleveland Browns, and he probably would have at least entertained it because he did not have a job at the time. But that's pretty much it in the NFL Combine world. If you're looking forward to the NFL Combine, we'll obviously be talking about it a bunch on here. So make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. But Thursday is really the first full day. That's D-line, linebackers. Then you move through the rest of the positions. Shedeur Sanders not throwing. Cam Ward still not sure. I made a whole video about Shedeur Sanders not throwing. It's not that big of a deal. If you're thinking it's a big deal, I promise you it's not. Let's move to the NBA play of the day. Now, the NBA play of the day, guys, for me is a very, very unique approach to this schedule. Now, you look at the Wednesday NBA schedule. We were looking at the Clippers-Pistons game before. But tomorrow you got 76ers, Knicks, Raptors, Pacers, Blazers, Wizards, Celtics, Pistons, which we'll talk about separately in its entirety here in a second. Hawks, Heat, Thunder, Nets, Clippers, Bulls, Kings, Jazz, Spurs, Rockets. You go look at some of these defensive numbers. I really want everybody to look at the Chicago Bulls, right? Giving up a ton of points, rebounds, assists to opposing point guards. The Chicago Bulls giving up a ton of points, rebounds to opposing shooting guards. To me, this is a big James Harden game coming off of his kind of stinker, quote unquote, Monday against the Pistons. Now, the Pistons, again, they're in action tomorrow, but they play the Boston Celtics. We'll break that down here in a second. But to be fully transparent with you guys, this slate is pretty simple. I know the Rockets are coming off of a back-to-back, which is, very important to note. But here's the bottom line. You get the Thunder coming off of a loss against the Timberwolves. We will take them. You get the Rockets, even though they're coming off a back-to-back, who've been not bad on back-to-backs against a team they should beat, the San Antonio Spurs. We're going to take them. And then it's going to be an alternate James Harden PRA. It's not going to be anything more in-depth than that. That's how we're going to rock with it. I trust the Rockets to get the job done. I trust the Thunder to come out and absolutely blow the brakes off. Who did they play? I don't even remember who they play. They play the Brooklyn Nets. That's right. Blow the brakes off the Nets. Say that 5 times fast. Blow the brakes off the Nets. Trust them to take care of business there. And then it's a James Harden alternate PRA. Should be no issue there. That's our Wednesday NBA POD. Now we do have the Celtics and Pistons game to talk about. The Boston Celtics coming off of a big win against the New York Knicks on Sunday afternoon. They're in action depending on when you're seeing this. Tuesday against the Toronto Raptors, a team they lost to the last time they played. We talked about Peyton Pritchard here a little bit at the beginning, but should beat them this time back around. Going and looking at the Celtics-Pistons previous matchups, though, the Pistons also coming off of a win against the Los Angeles Clippers. They have won 7 straight games. But going and looking back at the previous matchups, I want you guys to notice 2 things. It's the combination of points and rebounds and assists from the stars on the Pistons. 11 combined rebounds and assists, not points, rebounds and assists from Tobias Harris. 16 combined rebounds and assists from Cade Cunningham. Malik Beasley, a guy who's been playing more lately, 7 combined rebounds and assists in 16 minutes of action. To me, you want to look at what the Celtics are struggling with. It's just combined rebounds and assists, at least in the prop world, to the shooting guard position. You can see there, top 10 in rebounds given up to opposing shooting guards. And then in terms of assists, they are in the right around the middle. You look at the point guard position. The Boston Celtics are giving up a top 12 or top 10 to opposing point guards in terms of rebounds, not a ton of assists. Then the small forward position. You go, look, the Boston Celtics, not a ton of rebounds to opposing small forwards. The power forward position, you go down, Boston Celtics, top 10 in rebounds given up to power forwards. You go down to assists, top half in terms of assists given up to power forwards. People have to shoot threes against the Celtics to keep up with them, and there's going to be a lot of potential assist opportunities, as well as a lot of rebounds on the offensive side of the ball. I think if you're looking at this game, it's very clearly a Cade Cunningham alternate rebounds and assist number paired with Jason Tatum alternate PRA. Now, you go look at this past game. It was December 12th. Peyton Pritchard was the leading scorer. Derek White had 23. Jason Tatum didn't play, though. Jason Tatum did not play the last time they played these guys. That is a guy you have to lean into just based on the fact that they have not seen him in, 2 months, and he is playing great basketball. It honestly might be a rebounds and assist combination game for both Cade Cunningham and Jason Tatum. I think if you wanted to lean into somebody else, I'd probably lean into Peyton Pritchard. He's shooting the ball really well. We'll see what happens tonight. I don't want to double dip, but we'll see what happens tonight. But to me, it's Peyton Pritchard. It's Jason Tatum rebounds and assists, and it is Cade Cunningham rebounds and assists in that game on Wednesday night. We'll have a separate play for that. As always, that's on Chalk. And if you guys are watching this and you're saying, okay, what numbers, what specific numbers, the alternate lines come out in the morning. I'm getting you ahead on the data. If you are following on X, Instagram, and on Picket, all 3 are in the description. You can see them as soon as I go in. As soon as they go in, I get on them. I post it on there, and you guys immediately copy. On Picket especially, you guys see up in that top corner, right up there. Code LEADS, LEADS. If you join Picket, you're not on it, and you're already, sports betting, you're on a sports book, you link your sports book account, they'll give you a few bucks to put on whatever long shot parlay you want, whatever first basket you want, just by joining with that code. It's completely free, and it tracks all your picks, and you can follow me on there to see exactly what I'm on. As soon as I make a bet, I refresh the app. It's there for you. You press copy. It goes into your FanDuel or your DraftKings, and you automatically ride it with me. Highly suggest you get on Picket. It takes 10 seconds to do, 10 seconds to sign up for, and then 10 seconds to copy each bet too. Highly suggest you get on that. Let's finish with our college basketball Wednesday. To be honest with you guys, a decent slate on college basketball Wednesday. A lot of wagons. There's one really, really good action, or one really, really good game. 2 really good teams in action against each other. It's Michigan State and Maryland tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Now, I went and looked at this game. I was a little bit skeptical because every single time we are on a road dog who is higher ranked than the other team, we get screwed. Like they never win. And I was like, oh, okay. No way Michigan State's a road dog at Maryland. They are 3.5 point underdogs, guys. Michigan State is 3.5 point underdogs. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So I'm either teasing up that 3.5 to 9.5, or I'm just betting straight money line. I'm not touching that plus 3.5. Money line right now is plus 145 just for Michigan State to win. Obviously, Maryland's playing good basketball. Michigan State coming off that Michigan matchup. I'm not leaning into that game, to be fully honest with you guys. We got 3 wagons, and I'm not even going to think about anybody else. It's Auburn at home against Ole Miss. It's an alternate spread. It is St. John's money line on the road against Butler. St. John's has been unreal to us all year long. And then it's a Clemson alternate spread, either minus 9.5 or minus 6.5 at home against Notre Dame. That is the way you go with College Basketball Wednesday. And that is our Wednesday look ahead, our 226 look ahead. I appreciate you guys watching. And if you like the new camera angle, you like the new production value, make sure to leave a like on this video. We're going to continue to improve this show every single week. If you guys have suggestions for what you'd like to see, make sure to leave a comment in the description as well. I will see you guys next time. God bless.